Right, the final and third surface has now been scraped. You can usually see for the final scraping I was using a different scraper blade with a smaller radius on the end. It's easy to get in there. And we'll just do a final check. So this surface and this surface relative to this surface are within about 2 or 3 tenths. So I've set up the knee on the column and blued the column up, and so we're just running the knee up and down to transfer the blue from the column to the knee. I was going to strip the knee down, but when I looked at it, everything was in great condition and it looked kind of awkward to get apart, and doesn't really add much weight to the knee, so I thought I'd just leave it. So I've scraped the back of the knee against the column. I've left this area here with a slightly more contact area than the rest, because that's the area that's going to wear. And then you can't see it, but the inside of the dovetail there is scraped as well. The gear on the knee on this grinder is a tapered one, and as you can see, the previous owner put a shim in there to take up for the large amount of wear we saw on the column. There's this screw arrangement with a collar that fits into a notch in the gib. You can see the taper on the gib there. I've scraped the bottom of this to be flat against the ground keeper plate there. I've also scraped the top here, not because it's got oil on it, and that fits nicely on the top of the key there. The job now is to make a slightly better job of the shim. I did think about remaking the gib entirely, but I didn't really want to take on that challenge, so I'm going to do a better version of this shim, properly bond it on, and then we're going to complete the scraping of this surface against the shear of the way there. The shim I'm using is 20 thou stainless shim. The original bit of shim that was in there was 15 thou, so I've just made it a little bit larger. I've cut that strip out on the shear, and so now we'll stick it on to the back. So I've glued the shims onto the back of the gib, and I used epoxy. So I let it nearly dry and then rammed it home, so the shim took the form of the back of the inner surface there. So now I've blued this surface, I'm going to pull the knee back, and then I'm going to knock this in. We'll see what blue pattern we get. So you can see some spots of blue generally right along the length, so there's not that much difference between the old shim and the new shim I've epoxied on. So we'll now scrape this and make this full contact all the way, and then essentially the knee fitting is complete. So I finished scraping the gib, and you can see we've got an even number of spots all the way down it, indicating a good connection with the column slideway. So now I'll fit this and assemble the rest of the screw mechanism. We can check how it works. So the gib is finally fitted, and I've just done a bit of an assembly to test out the vertical axis. So the bracket's been fitted. I've just cleaned that up, cleaned all the grit and things out of it, deburred any dings on the screw, and it seems to go up and down the column fine. So onto the next part.